Tonight, we bring you a story that has left millions of hearts heavy across the United Kingdom. Bradley Walsh, the man who has made us laugh, cry, and cheer from our living rooms, is facing a challenge that no camera, no applause, and no fame can soften. Reports have surfaced that Bradley's health has deteriorated rapidly, and the sight of his beloved wife, Donna Derby, crying outside the hospital has shaken fans to their very core. But this isn't just a story about illness. It is about love, resilience, and the power of family when the storm seems unrelenting. Tonight, we take you behind the headlines, into the moments, the memories, and the incredible strength of one of Britain's most adored television legends. Stay with me until the very end, because what happens next will not only surprise you, but it may change the way you look at Bradley's story forever. Imagine, gray clouds hung heavy over London skies. The hospital car park was filled with cameras, flashing bulbs, and hushed whispers. And then, there she was, Donna Derby, elegant as always, but broken in that moment, her tears streaming as she clasped her hands together outside the doors. It wasn't the Donna we know from red carpets or from glowing interviews beside Bradley. This was the raw, unfiltered face of a woman terrified for the love of her life. Journalists stood still, fans held their breath. Even the paparazzi, known for their ruthlessness, lowered their lenses for just a second. Because this was more than just news. This was a family in crisis. And yet, even in her tears, Donna displayed something remarkable: grace. She whispered to onlookers that Bradley was fighting and that he was stronger than anyone knows. Her words were shaky, but filled with hope. But what exactly had brought Bradley here? For decades, Bradley Walsh has been the picture of health and energy, leaping across the Chase studio with his trademark grin, joking with contestants, and even singing on stage. Yet, behind the cameras, whispers of his struggles had occasionally surfaced. Years earlier, Bradley admitted to suffering from health conditions, most notably his heart. He was open about his doctors warning him about lifestyle changes, about the real dangers if he ignored the advice. Still, he powered on, hosting The Chase, filming Breaking Dad with his son Barney, and performing in endless charity events. He was unstoppable. To us, he was indestructible. But in truth, his body was quietly battling, step by step. And then, just days ago, something changed. A rapid decline. The world only saw the result, Donna Derby's tears outside the hospital. But the real story begins much earlier. Bradley and Donna's marriage has long been the backbone of his success. Behind every joke he cracked on screen, every victory lap in his career, stood Donna, his confidant, his rock. When Bradley confessed years ago that his biggest fear was leaving his family behind too soon, it was Donna who urged him to take better care of himself. It was Donna who kept him grounded. Now, the roles had shifted. She was the one standing tall, holding the family together as cameras rolled and fans prayed. And those who saw her outside the hospital weren't just watching a wife cry. They were watching love at its purest. A love refusing to give up. But what was happening inside those hospital walls? Hospital staff, bound by confidentiality, said little, but whispers began to circulate. Bradley had been admitted under emergency circumstances. Doctors were monitoring him closely, using every resource at their disposal. Those close to the family said Bradley was weak but fighting. One nurse reportedly remarked, "He hasn't lost that smile, even in the hardest moments." That's who Bradley is, a man who hides his pain to make others feel safe. Even in the beeping silence of a hospital ward, he was still trying to lift spirits, telling jokes, reassuring his family, making everyone else laugh. But could that same strength be enough to turn the tide of this frightening battle? Perhaps the most heart-stirring part of this ordeal has been the role of Bradley's son, Barney Walsh. Viewers know him as Bradley's partner in crime on Breaking Dad. We've seen the laughs, the road trips, the father-son banter. But now it was Barney's turn to be the strong one. He was spotted arriving at the hospital, arm around his mother, quietly guiding her through the chaos of flashing cameras and relentless questions. Inside, he refused to leave his father's side. Witnesses described a touching moment, Barney clasping Bradley's hand, whispering, "I've got you, Dad. We're going to get through this." And in that hospital room, the roles reversed. Bradley wasn't the TV hero. He was a father, depending on the son he had raised to be brave. Back home, fans across the UK waited anxiously. Social media flooded with prayers, good wishes, and memories of moments Bradley had given them. Some recalled his hilarious bloopers on the chase. Others remembered emotional moments from Breaking Dad. And many more simply wrote, "Get well soon, Bradley. We need you." It was more than celebrity gossip. This was personal. Bradley Walsh had become part of our families, someone we watched daily, someone who brightened our days without even realizing it. And now, as news of his rapid decline spread, millions of strangers united in a single wish: his recovery. Back at the hospital, Donna Derby remained a pillar of strength. Reporters described her as fragile but composed. Even in her most vulnerable moment, she held her head high, clutching a rosary in her hand, praying quietly for Bradley. A close friend revealed that Donna had been keeping vigil day and night, refusing to leave Bradley's bedside for long. "She won't let him fight this alone," the friend said. It's a reminder that behind every public figure is a private world of devotion. And Donna's unwavering loyalty is a story in itself. Doctors are cautious, and the family has remained private. But whispers of a turning point have surfaced. Some suggest Bradley has shown small signs of recovery. Others believe he is still in a critical stage. We may not know the full truth yet, but here's what we do know. Bradley Walsh has always defied the odds. He came from humble beginnings, worked his way through rejection after rejection, and rose to become one of the UK's most beloved entertainers. If anyone can rise from this moment, if anyone can surprise us all, it's Bradley Walsh. So tonight, as we reflect on Donna's tears outside the hospital, on Barney's whispered encouragements, and on the nation's prayers, let's remember something powerful. Bradley's story isn't just about struggle. It's about love, resilience, and the human spirit. This may be his toughest battle yet, but if history has taught us anything, it's that Bradley Walsh doesn't give up, and neither should we give up hope for him. Stay with us, because this story is far from over. Keep Bradley in your thoughts tonight, because sometimes hope itself is the medicine that makes the impossible possible.